So now let us look at the another methods or mode of reproduction in organisms, that is vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation, these methods that are applied in plants to get various agricultural benefits. Many of the plants, they are able to produce young ones from their vegetative parts. So what are vegetative parts? Plant having different parts like leaf, stem, roots, flowers, fruit, seeds, buds. Out of this, flower is the reproductive part of the plant. Pollination takes place in the flower, fertilization takes place in the flower. The flower, it turns to fruit, it bears the seeds, and the seeds, they sprout up into new plant. This is sexual reproduction in plants. Apart from the flower, the other parts like leaf, if a plant is able to produce a new plant either from leaf or from stem or from root or from bud, if a new plant is produced from either of these parts, you call it as vegetative propagation. Naturally, this may not happen in all the cases, but artificially in nurseries, if you practice it, you can get new plants identical to the parent plant within a very short period. Examples, sugarcane. You might have seen sugarcane. It is just like a bamboo, but it is soft and it is having sugary juice. The sugarcane, it has got so many nodes. It is divided into nodes. At each node, you can see some root-like structures. If you cut the sugarcane into parts, and we have to see that each part contains at least one node, and if you plant that part in the soil, you will get a new sugarcane plant. That means from stem cutting. In the same way, rose plant, if you cut a piece of stem, rose stem, with a blade you have cut it, and you planted the stem in the soil, it grows into a new plant. What is the benefit? See, you have gone to your friend's house. There you have seen a rose which you liked the most. You thought the flowers are most beautiful. You wanted some rose plant with the same kind. You cannot get the same kind with same color, same brightness. You may go to nursery and find out. Very difficult. So you wanted to have the same kind of plant at your home. So then you can ask your friend's permission, and then you can cut a small stem, a part of the stem, small branch. Then you can take this rose branch to your house and you can plant it in your pot. After a few days, it will produce roots and it grows into a new plant. And it will bear the flowers exactly like your friend's plant. Genetically, they are identical. Reproduction is very simple. You wait till the rose gives you the seeds, and if you plant the seeds, you may not be able to get the same kind of plant, because this plant might have undergone some cross-pollination. So by sexual reproduction, if you collect the seeds of this plant and sow that there, you may not get exact copy. But by the method of this stem cutting is one of the vegetative propagation, you will get the exact copy. So there are different methods of vegetative propagation like cuttings, stem cuttings, grafting, layering. These are the various methods by which we can produce new plants from the vegetative parts of the plants. Vegetative parts are leaf, stem, root, bud. From these we can get the new plants with the identical characters. So this is the advantage of the vegetative propagation, which is widely used in the plantations, that is in the fruit plantations, vegetable cultivation, and floriculture, culture of flowers. Flowers also have got good commercial importance. Various kinds of flowers used for decorations and various purposes. So they have a lot of commercial value. This kind of plants are also propagated so quickly in the nurseries by following the vegetative propagation methods. So here we see some other methods like tissue culture is an advanced technique by which we can generate a complete plant by collecting a few cells. In the previous case we discussed in vegetative propagation, By cutting a part of the plant, you can generate a new plant. You can grow it into a new plant. Part means bigger in sense, naked. You can see with your eye. Say for example, rose plant stem you have cut. The stem is seen to your eyes. That is big enough. But few number of cells which are invisible. You have taken a very small tissue. Plants have the capability of producing a new plant even from small tissue. But the small tissue that is collected, you cannot keep it in the soil. It will decompose. It cannot grow into a new plant. Then what do we do this tissue? We can keep the tissue in a test tube. This tissue is kept in a test tube in the nutrient medium. And moreover, it is sterilized. That means made free from bacteria. Otherwise, fungus will get, bacteria will destroy the tissue. The tissue is sterilized, treated for not affecting with any bacteria or fungus. And the tissue is kept in a medium, nutrient medium, which will provide the nutrients. And the total thing is kept in hygienic conditions, non-infectious conditions. Then the tissue will grow into a new plant. Once this is grown into a plantlet, the plant can be potted. It can be kept in a pot. So, tissue culture is the latest advanced technique in which you can grow number of plants at a time. 1000 plants you want. Yes, you collect some tissue. Tissue means it's a group of cells. Thousands of cells will be there in very small tissue. So, 1000 plants you can grow at a time. But the thing is, you need a laboratory. You need equipment. You need technicians. Then it is possible to grow 1000 plants of same kind in less time by using the tissue culture technique. And we find some of the plants or some of the organisms reproduce by spores. You call it as spore formation, sporulation. Best example we see is that fungus, and under this fungus we see the molds, bread mold. When some food is made wet, damp and kept in humid conditions, you see some hair-like structures are grown. This is nothing but the mold, bread mold. If you observe the hair-like structure, it will have a long stalk-like body and top head. The head contains small dot-like structures called as spores. These spores are just like seeds of a plant. If the spores are transferred by air or any other means to some other food material or some other place where the nutrients available, these spores will germinate. This kind of reproduction is called as spore formation or sporulation. Example, mucor, kind of fungus in which we observe. Even in some plants, we observe the spores in ferns. If you see the leaf of a fern, on the underside of the leaf you see some kind of spores. And these plants, they reproduce by spores. They do not produce any flowers and seeds. They have only spores. What is that example? Ferns. So we have seen various methods of reproduction in which there is no fusion of male and female gamete. All the methods so far we discussed are asexual methods. That means there is no fusion of male gamete, female gamete. A single organism is capable of producing young ones. These are all the examples. We have seen animals, we have seen plants, unicellular, multicellular. So there are so many modes of reproduction in sexual method. Next we are going to discuss about sexual method of reproduction. We have seen asexual method of reproduction. Now we are going to discuss about sexual mode of reproduction. Sexual mode. Male gamete, female gamete fuses together to form a zygote which develops into a young one. This is a more advanced one where the DNA recombination takes place, and the young ones that come, they have very high possibilities of variations, and the process of evolution is possible mainly because of this sexual reproduction. Let us see how the sexual reproduction takes place in plants and animals.